in today's episode of 5 Scary Ghost Videos caught on camera.
Number 5. Our first video comes from the YouTube channel NK Hauntings. This time, Jason and Kim, along with Caitlin and Gary, went to the old abandoned army base at Linen Head. After arriving at the scene and setting up the equipment, they began an investigation. And at one point during the spirit box session, they decided to introduce themselves to the ghosts. And when it was Caitlin's turn, the device they had placed behind her back caught something.
What's your name? Delight?
Just to introduce ourselves, sorry, because I don't think we did that, but my name's Jason.
I'm Cam. I'm Caitlin.
That doesn't get that on it.
It would have heard it. Our REM pod just went off. It's in this wee cubby hole. I'll move you so that you
I
can
think
see
I
it.
moved in front of it because it scared the life out of me.
At some point, the REM pod is triggered right after Caitlin speaks. Then they decided to check something out and start session with the necrophonic app hosted by Caitlin. And here's what happened.
Whenever we were just introducing ourselves and I said my name was Caitlin, the REM pod went off. Is there something that you want to tell me?
You're beautiful.
I heard something like that.
I think it went really light. You're beautiful.
I was like,
Really, I don't even know if that camera will have picked it up. Really, it's just because I think you're beautiful.
Oh,
No, really, that's
well,
what really
that's what you said. Thank you very much.
Do you like Caitlin?
Can you tell me what your name is?
Liam? Are you upstairs in the other room where our night vision is? You can go and you can stand there. You can. Is there a REM pod up there? Oh. Is there a REM pod up there? Oh.
We can hear attempts to contact her, and then again behind them, the REM pod is turned on, but also gets moved and knocked over by something. But what they managed to record next is terrifying.
Did she scare you? She's down on the
As they move around the building, Kim enters one of the rooms where Caitlin is hiding, who jumps out of one of the rooms and scares Kim. And at the same moment, she took a photo. But there is something wrong with it. We see a strange face behind her back. Is it a ghost? Or maybe we see something we want to see. What do you folks think about it? Did NK Hauntings manage to record paranormal activity in a haunted and abandoned military facility? Or could everything be explained rationally? You are the judges. You decide, folks. Also, if you want to watch the full episode of this investigation, visit their YouTube channel NK Hauntings. Number 4. The next ghost video comes from the YouTube channel Southern Afterlife, who decided to go alone to Coruscant State Park campground with a historic old house where the first owner of the property lived. Unfortunately, the building is locked and cannot be entered, so Josh decided to explore the area around the building, and at one point he caught this.
So I definitely want to check those out, but I'm seriously getting a bad vibe right here. I don't know if it's something trying to warn me that someone's coming, or if something just doesn't want me here, because, you know, I have tattoos and stuff, like, my kind wasn't welcome in these parts. I don't know, guys, I'm hearing stuff everywhere.
We hear a woman scream from inside the building.
Seriously getting a bad vibe right here.
Which might as well be the sound of a car driving by, but what happened a few minutes later is harder to explain.
What was that? I'm on a wooden deck. It sounded like someone walking on it. I'm the only one out here. What the hell? I don't know, guys. That's freaky. Let me get my meter and go back over there.
At one point, Josh hears footsteps near him and decides to check it out. On the porch, we see a chair that was moved by something, and that can also be explained in some way, but what he managed to capture on the camera next is quite interesting.
I don't know, I got an eerie feeling right here, like a sense of warmth. Hello? Is there anybody out here? I see some motion lights, but I'm not sure if they're actually powered up. This place is just eerie.
As he is walking around the building, on the right side, on the path, we see a dark, indistinct figure resembling a woman in black Victorian clothes, which stands there for a while and disappears at some point. Was it the real ghost of the first owners, or was it just a well-prepared hoax? The final decision is yours, folks. If you want to watch the full episode, visit his YouTube channel Somewhere Afterlife. Number 3. The next video comes from the YouTube channel Mindset TV. This time, Casey, Colton and Tanner traveled to a haunted mansion with a dark past. Several previous owners have died there, and it's said that the souls who lost their lives in this house can no longer live it. Upon arrival, the Mindset team began their investigation, and after a few minutes, the entire team entered one of the rooms, in which they captured something strange on the thermal camera.
Someone standing next to Colton?
He's sitting next to me in his chair.
Whoa. Whoa.
What are you seeing?
Hey, Tanner. Reach out to your right and down about 45-degree angle. Tell me if you feel cold. Go further. Reach closer, like kneel down. Does it feel cold there? There's a black dot that just appeared on the thermal. Like it just came out of nowhere.
I don't know, it's tough to tell just because it's cold in here in general.
Yeah.
I don't feel any like increase right here necessarily.
I tried to reach out, see if I could feel anything. I didn't see anything next to me, didn't really feel anything.
Colt, come here and look at this with me. Maybe you could kick that EMF over there in a second, but check this out.
When Casey told me to look at the thermal image with him, it appeared that there was like a black spot hovering close to the floor next to Tanner.
There's like an abyss dot next to you.
I watched it form out of nothing.
Alright.
Oh yeah, see if the SLS picks it up.
So if you're sitting next to me, don't move, stay right here. Me and my friends want to see you. We want to talk to you.
Something bizarre is visible in the thermal camera. A very dark, cold spot appearing next to Tanner. But it wasn't the last time they had recorded something suspicious.
What are you saying, Case?
No, I just felt a little cold. I was just trying to see if anything wanted to talk. Wait. Cole, stay still. That is wild. Don't move. Reach out to your right and down a little bit. When I saw the figure of what appeared to be a little girl on the thermal image standing beside Colton, my heart literally sunk to my stomach because it was so visible and clear. Dude, it looks like a little girl's holding your hand right now, I swear to God. Tanner, come here. Bring your hand back to you. Don't move. Good. Here you go. Watch this.
Whoa. The legs.
Yeah, look. It looked like a little girl, but kind of like a skeleton at the same time. It was very thin, but you could also see like what looked to be like bones, in my opinion.
What's your name? Who's standing next to Colton?
Again, thanks to the thermal camera, we see something resembling a figure, or rather a child's silhouette, that appeared, this time next to Colton. Then the crew went up to the attic, and as they were going there, this happened.
Alright, tower? Yeah. Try to talk with them, but I think as long as we're maybe different locations separated.
Ooh! That was not you. That was not you. That was clear over here. That just rolled right behind you.
Unexpectedly, a small ball rolled across the room, which surprised everyone quite a lot. But it was not something unusual and scary enough. So then, each of them split up. Casey, who was in the attic, experienced something interesting.
We got an SLS a little while ago. Can you please move that ball that I'm aiming my flashlight at right now? You can do it. I know you can. Can you just give it a little push? Anything? What? Colt. Tanner. What I didn't expect was to see a different ball roll into my sight in front of the doorway. It actually caught me off guard. I think I jumped when I was recording. And then a second ball rolled in front of the door. What? Colt. Tanner. What? Holy. I'm gonna play the full clip so that you could see I ran straight into that room as soon as I saw both of those balls roll in front of the door, and there was nobody there. Colton was still upstairs, Tanner was still downstairs. How do you explain that? We got an SLS a little while ago. Can you please move that ball that I'm aiming my flashlight at right now? You can do it. I know you can. You just give it a little push. Anything. What? Colt. Tanner. What? Holy. What the Hey guys. Holy sh.
Casey at one point asks the ghost to move the ball, on which he shines the flashlight, but instead another ball on the left is moved, and then another from the right. After Casey's experience, everyone gathered in the attic in one place where the playroom was located.
You already moved the pink one and the green one. Can you move the clear one that I was asking you to move earlier? It's really simple, just give it a little push.
Come on, can you please move the...
Oh.
No f***ing way.
At some point the ball is violently moved by something or someone. What do you folks think about it? Did the Mindset TV crew really recorded some paranormal activity in the haunted mansion? Or maybe everything we saw can be explained? Choose wisely, folks. Also, I highly recommend watching this episode and visiting their YouTube channel Mindset TV. Number 2. Another ghost video comes from the YouTube channel AdiantGPT, who decided to go alone to the abandoned building in the city of Bandung, somewhere in Indonesia. During his exploration, he recorded this at one point.
Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ah! Guys, gua udah zoom. Kang Adit. Gua udah zoom. Gua zoom, teman-teman.
As he calmly explores the place, he suddenly notices the levitating figure of a woman in dark hair and a white dress, which in a moment flies up to the ceiling above and disappears. What do you think about it? A real ghost recorded on the camera? Or simply a hoax? Real or fake? Decide, folks. Number 1. The last video comes from the YouTube channel Slim Wavely, who went with his father to an abandoned and haunted village in the forest of West Yorkshire, which has a church, many residential buildings, and a school where 2 boys died in the explosion. At some point in the exploration, they went to the exact place where the accident happened. They lit a candle and asked questions, and here's what they captured.
Is there anybody with us right now? Please flicker the candle. Did that flicker? Did you think that flickered? Do you want us to leave? Please flicker the candle. Flicker the candle if you are happy. You all need to be happy. Flicker the candle if you are sad. Do you have anything else to say? Please flicker the candle. Flickering. You wanna go? Are you scared? Oh, if I sit down, stop.
We can see the strange behavior of the candle flicking from time to time. Is it something paranormal? Or maybe a coincidence and a draft? Let me know in the comments below, folks. Thanks for watching, folks. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.